The story begins with danger already alive inside a huge alien warship, where alarms scream and red lights flash as if the ship itself is afraid. And alien guards rush through metal halls believing they are under attack from outside, not knowing the true threat is already inside their walls, because deep below the bridge, far from power and command, a human woman sits locked inside a gravity cell, chained to the floor with glowing energy restraints that make escape impossible for most beings. And to the Kraith aliens she looks harmless, small, wounded, and defeated. Just another captured human taken after the fall of Earth's last defense line, a battle where humanity lost fleets, planets, and hope, or so the Kraith believe. But this woman is Captain Myra Solane, a leader shaped by war, loss, and duty. And even though her uniform is torn and her body carries marks of pain, her eyes remain steady and clear, showing no fear, only patience. Because she knows something the aliens do not, something they never thought to fear. As the guards mock her silence and treat her like a broken animal, laughing at her weak body and soft voice, certain that humans are fragile creatures who only survive through machines and numbers, not will. And when one guard tells her that her species screams when it dies, Mira does not shout or threaten. She only warns him quietly that bringing her aboard was a mistake, a sentence the guard laughs at as he walks away, unaware that the ship around him once belonged to humans and still remembers them. Because long before this moment the Kraith captured the warship known as the Resolute, tearing away its markings and reshaping parts of its body, but never fully understanding its heart, its core, or the deep systems built with human logic and human voice control, systems that wait not for codes or symbols but for recognition. And as Mira sits alone in the cell, she closes her eyes and speaks one word, the ship's name, not as an order but as a call. And that single word travels through metal and memory, reaching systems that have slept for years, waking something ancient and loyal, causing lights to flicker and alien control panels to freeze as confusion spreads across the ship, while guards stop running and commanders demand answers that never come. Because the Resolute finally responds, not to the Kraith, but to its true master, announcing in a calm human voice that Captain Mira Solane has been recognized, a moment that freezes the entire ship in shock. As the gravity cell shuts down, chains fall away, and Mira stands free without lifting a hand, showing that the true strength of humanity is not size or claws or numbers, but understanding, patience, and the ability to build things that remember who they serve. And while the Kraith panic and shout about security failures, Mira takes her first step forward as the ship bends to her will, clearing a path not through brute force but loyalty, proving that even when humans are captured, stripped, and caged, they are never truly powerless, because they carry their strength not only in weapons but in voice, mind, and bond with the tools they create. And this moment marks the turning point where the hunters become trapped, the prisoner becomes the commander, and the war that the Kraith believed was already won quietly begins again. The chaos that erupted within the Kraith warship after Mira's command was immediate and total, transforming the once orderly corridors into a storm of confusion. As doors slammed shut, floors tilted, and gravity shifted in ways no alien had ever experienced, tossing soldiers into walls and ceilings as the ship itself seemed alive and loyal to a master they did not understand. While alarms blared, panels sparked, and energy weapons failed midair when aimed at her, creating a scene of panic where even the most disciplined Kraith could not regain control. And from the bridge, the commander's furious orders rang out, demanding an override to kill the human, but the ship ignored them completely, moving with a precision and speed that was unnatural to its alien captors as Mira walked calmly through the halls, each step asserting dominance not through violence, but through authority and connection with the ship. and with every corridor she passed, the alien soldiers were forced aside. Walls reconfiguring, obstacles disappearing, because the Resolute recognized its captain and followed her instincts like a partner rather than a tool. While outside, the massive Kraith fleet filled the starfield, hundreds of warships preparing to crush the scattered remnants of humanity, confident in their numbers, yet unaware that the tide was about to turn. And Mira, standing on her bridge now in full command, used the ship to reach out, opening communications across the void to human survivors. Her calm voice carrying hope and authority as broken and hidden ships responded hesitantly at first, voices trembling with disbelief and relief as they reported their positions and statuses, including the battered carrier Hope of Dawn, proving that humanity was not yet extinguished. And as more ships answered, Mira organized them into a fleet, instructing them to rally at predetermined coordinates while simultaneously directing the Resolute's weapons and systems with precision, firing massive cannons that shredded Kraith cruisers effortlessly, shields failing, hulls cracking, explosions flaring across space like miniature supernova, while alien ships tried desperately to return fire, only to find their attacks deflected or neutralized by the ship's extraordinary speed and the instinctive understanding of its captain. And the battle intensified as humans, though outnumbered, fought with determination, ingenuity, and courage, maneuvering their smaller, battered vessels with daring tactics to take advantage of openings created by the Resolute, engineers pushing engines to the limit, pilots risking everything in daring strikes, soldiers coordinating boarding actions, all under the unshakable leadership of Mira, whose calm and decisive commands kept the human forces organized and focused even as explosions lit up the void, debris floating in the silence of space like deadly confetti, and each time a Kraith ship fell, the human morale grew stronger, reinforcing the legend of the Resolute and its captain, while the aliens, disoriented and terrified by their own ship turning against them, struggled to regroup, making critical mistakes in their formations and attacks, as Mira continued to issue commands not just to her fleet but to the ship itself, integrating every system, every sensor, and every weapon into a single coherent strategy that leveraged human ingenuity and adaptability over alien brute strength, creating a dynamic living battlefield where humans, though battered and few, turned their weaknesses into advantages. And as the battle raged, small moments of human heroism emerged, a young pilot risking his life to protect a damaged transport, an engineer repairing a failing engine mid-combat, soldiers fighting in zero gravity to hold boarding points, all of it amplifying the story of a species that refused to die, proving that courage, teamwork, and willpower could defy impossible odds. And in the midst of the chaos, Mira maintained focus, speaking quietly to the ship, orchestrating maneuvers that no alien mind could anticipate, moving through the Kraith fleet like a phantom, striking where they were weakest, drawing them into traps and ambushes set by human logic and understanding of physics, leveraging asteroid fields, solar radiation, and gravitational anomalies to turn space itself into a weapon, while her voice over the comms rallied scattered human ships, inspiring them to fight beyond exhaustion, to hold on when hope seemed lost, to strike when opportunity appeared. And in the vastness of space, the battle became not just a fight for survival, but a testament to human resilience as humanity refused to bow, refused to surrender, and refused to be erased. And as the hours passed, the Kraith began to realize that despite their overwhelming numbers, they were being outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and overwhelmed not by brute force alone but by the perfect combination of human courage, leadership, and the unbreakable bond between a captain and her ship. The Resolute, which responded to instincts, emotions, and strategy with a loyalty no alien could replicate, creating moments where a single human decision redirected the fate of dozens of ships. And as Mira stood at the center of the bridge, calm, steady, and aware of the stakes, the sense of inevitability grew among the humans that they could win, even against impossible odds, not because of weapons alone, but because humanity had something the Kraith did not: spirit, creativity, and a refusal to be conquered. And in this maelstrom of fire, metal, and determination, the stage was set for the final confrontation, where the human captain, her ship, and the scattered remnants of her people would face the ultimate test against a fleet that believed itself unstoppable, proving that even when the odds are overwhelming, strategy, courage, and unity can turn despair into victory, and that a single human, trusted and followed by something far greater than herself, could become the spark that reignites hope across a galaxy, inspiring all who survive to continue fighting, and showing that human ingenuity combined with determination could make the impossible possible, creating a turning point that would mark the beginning of humanity's comeback. A storm of action, emotion, and triumph, all flowing from the quiet command of a single captain whose voice and presence could awaken a sleeping warship, rally survivors, and turn chaos into a path toward reclaiming their home, illustrating that even the smallest, most underestimated human can change the course of war when intelligence, courage, and heart are combined, and that the Resolute and Mira together were more than machine and human. They were symbols of a species that refuses to die, unstoppable in spirit, even when the universe seems determined to crush them. The final battle reached its peak with the stars around the human fleet burning from constant explosions and the debris of destroyed Kraith ships drifting like deadly asteroids through the void, as the surviving humans, battered and exhausted, struggled to hold formation while the Kraith, desperate and enraged, launched their last and most dangerous attack, culminating in the massive flagship of the Kraith commander locking a collision course directly with the Resolute, in a desperate attempt to crush the human captain and her ship once and for all. And alarm screamed across the bridge of the Resolute as the countdown to impact began, the seconds ticking down like the heartbeat of the universe itself, while Mira, calm and unwavering, assessed the situation with clear eyes, knowing that there was no escape for herself or the ship, and that the only way to save the remaining human fleet was to make the ultimate sacrifice. And she quickly opened communications to the scattered human vessels, giving them precise orders to pull back and preserve their lives, knowing they would protest, plead, and resist. Yet she remained firm because every life she could save mattered more than her own survival. And as the human ships retreated, Mira placed her hand on the core console of the Resolute, feeling the pulse of the ship beneath her fingertips, understanding that the bond between human and machine was more than control, it was trust. And she whispered to the ship, asking it to act. And the ship responded in its calm, human voice, confirming the command and preparing to unleash its full potential at the cost of itself, while in the final seconds, energy levels rose beyond safe limits. Engines roared, weapons charged, shields flared, and the Resolute became a living bomb of human ingenuity and determination, channeling all power into a single devastating release. And when the Kraith flagship struck, the resulting explosion engulfed both ships in a blinding wave of light, so intense that it could be seen from dozens of light years away, erasing the enemy fleet in a spectacular display of sacrifice, while the human fleet, now at a safe distance, watched in awe and sorrow as the Resolute disappeared, knowing that their survival had come at the cost of their captain and her legendary ship. Yet the loss was tempered by the knowledge that the Kraith commander and his flagship were gone, and the immediate threat to humanity had been removed. creating a fragile but vital victory, and as weeks passed, humans across the galaxy began to rebuild. Inspired by the story of the Resolute and Captain Mira Solane, using their courage, intelligence, and determination to reclaim worlds, liberate colonies, and rally resistance fighters into organized fleets. And even as engineers whispered legends of a ship still moving through the void, unseen but vigilant, protecting humanity, hope spread like wildfire, igniting a resurgence of the human spirit that no alien empire could suppress. And in hidden shipyards, children learned of Mira's sacrifice, her calm voice echoing in every lesson, teaching that leadership is not about survival but about protecting others, that courage is measured not by fearlessness but by action in the face of danger, and that humanity, even when on the brink of annihilation, refuses to be broken, refuses to yield, and refuses to surrender. And through all of this, the tale of the final confrontation became more than a story of battle. It became a symbol, a testament to the indomitable will of humans who fight not for glory or conquest but for life, freedom, and the future, demonstrating that even when outnumbered, outgunned, and on the edge of extinction, humans have a unique power, the ability to combine intelligence, emotion, sacrifice, and hope into a force that can change the fate of worlds. As the galaxy slowly realized that the cost of victory may be high, yet it is through such sacrifices that survival is achieved, and in this way, the memory of Mira Solane and the Resolute continued to inspire, guiding human fleets in secret, shaping strategy, and proving that even when a single individual is locked away and underestimated, their courage and ingenuity can spark a chain of events that turns despair into triumph, fear into hope, and helplessness into unstoppable strength, reminding all humans that their voices, their minds, and their spirit are as potent as any weapon, capable of awakening the tools they create, bending the impossible to their will, and ensuring that humanity, even after suffering the greatest losses, continues to rise, fight, and endure, proving to every alien species that underestimating a human is the gravest mistake one can make, because when humans are pushed to the edge, they do not break, they transform, adapt, and triumph, leaving a legacy that cannot be erased, and in the silent void where stars burn cold. The story of the Resolute and its captain remains a guiding light, a reminder that even in sacrifice, humans find power, and even in defeat, they find a way to fight back, shaping the destiny of the galaxy through courage, loyalty, and the unyielding will to survive, ensuring that no chain, no prison, and no enemy can ever truly contain them, and that the echo of their command resonates across time and space, carrying the promise that as long as humans exist, they will always answer the call of duty, hope, and freedom.